I started this channel on the day that Trump was nearly assassinated. Just a few hours after the rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, I made the decision to create this channel so I can use whatever spare time and resources I have to help expose some of the things that are going on within the political world here in the U.S. And look, folks, it can be hard because I have a personal life. I have a small business that I run. I also run multiple YouTube channels. I got a lot going on. So I'm not regularly uploading to this channel in the way that I want, but I'm here nevertheless. I'm here trying to expose some of the corruption. And I'm still here till this day, wanting to know and trying to figure out what really happened on that day. On the day that Trump was nearly assassinated. Because months and months and months have gone by, and we don't really know much more now than we did on the first day that this happened. And that's crazy when you think about it. It's crazy how easily they memory hold this story as if it never happened. And look, there's been a lot of crazy things that happened since then, but this was a historical moment. We're still reading and talking about the JFK assassination decades later. Yet there's not much conversation about what happened that day in Butler, Pennsylvania. There's more conversations in 2025 about what happened to JFK as opposed to what nearly happened to Donald Trump. Why is that? Why have so many people, why has the media shied away from this story? And if you look at Thomas Matthew Crooks, none of it adds up. None of it adds up at all. We're supposedly still waiting for them to get into his cell phone. But as someone who covers true crime cases on my main channel, I know how these investigations go. And there's obviously an effort to act like that no one can do their job when it comes to Thomas Matthew Crooks. I mean, the fact that his home was basically medically scrubbed down, spotless. There's just so many weird details. But supposedly, some of those details are supposedly going to start coming out because now Trump is pressuring for those details to come out, but I'm not confident. They still haven't told us the truth about JFK. What makes you think they're going to tell the truth about something that happened a few months ago? I'm still waiting on the Epstein files that we were promised. I don't feel like we're ever going to get those. I feel like Pam Bondi is playing around, and now I'm looking at Kash Patel like, hey, you need to say something soon. So I already got questions about some of what has been transpiring here over the past couple of weeks. Because there is an effort to still keep some of this information suppressed, even though we were promised that it would be released. But hopefully, from what Trump has been saying, and I don't think they're going to tell, do you think they're going to tell Trump the truth about what they did? And when I say what they did, it's because obviously they, if you need to ask who they is, then I don't know what to tell you because most people know who they are. Do you think they are going to tell Trump what they did to him or tried to do to him? No, I doubt it. But he could try to get whatever information he can, and I look forward to that information. But for now, let's listen to what he had to say about this, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
It's been 7 months. Why do you think we don't know more about the guy who shot you in the ear?
Yeah, oh, well, and the second one with all of his cell phones. So I want to find the answers. I've told them. In fact, today I said, I want to find, we can no longer blame Biden for that one. He should have released that a long time ago. So they are giving me a report next week sometime, and I do believe I'll be releasing. I want to release the report. A lot of people have asked that question. You had one who had 3 apps, 2 of which were foreign, supposedly, and who has the biggest white shoe law firm in Pennsylvania, even though they don't live in necessarily a white shoe area. What's that all about? His law, the law firm. The other one had 7 or 6 cell phones. And I don't have 6 cell phones. And why would somebody have 6 cell phones? So we're going to be releasing a report on that soon, Peter.
But based on what you're saying right there, the lack of information and the data points that you just gave, does that make you think that there's some part of that there's some bigger...
It could be. Well, it makes other people think that. It makes me think it a little bit too. I say, when you have 3 apps and 2 of them are foreign, and you had an FBI that wouldn't report on it, they didn't want to say why, I would say that could be suspicious. And then on the second assassin, you had, and by the way, I have to tell you, Secret Service did a great job on that by spotting him. But on the second one, he had 6 cell phones. That's a lot of cell phones. And a couple of them had some strange markings on them. So, yeah, I want to find out, and I would be willing to release it. I mean, maybe there's a reason that we shouldn't, so I don't want to get too far ahead of my skis, but yeah, I would be very willing to release that. I'd like to see it. I want to see it myself, Peter. Not only you, I want to see that one myself.
Look, all of this talk about foreign adversaries and Iran being involved in all of that stuff, it's all completely bogus BS. And I hope and pray that Trump does not bite that bait. The whole Iran was involved in this. Listen, that was going to be their patsy, basically. What they were hoping is that they could kill 2 birds with 1 stone, kind of literally. They wanted to take out Trump and then blame it on Iran so then they could get their war with Iran, because they want both. They want Trump gone and they want more war in the Middle East. Trump stands in the way of more war in the Middle East. So they were going to use that as their excuse. Oh, Thomas Matthew Crooks, he must have been working with Iran, and Iran did this. Let's go bomb the heck out of Iran. Let's go start another endless war in the Middle East. That's what they wanted. Iran, I don't think, has anything to do with this. But it's obvious that this was an inside job. And I say it's obvious because it's obvious. There are no if, and, or buts. This was an inside job. The only question is how much of an inside job this is. In some situations, you kind of try to figure out, hey, is this something that occurred naturally? Or is this an inside job? Here, we know it's an inside job. It's too blatantly obvious. Anyone that entertains something otherwise, obviously they're not that smart or they're not that bright. The question is here, what type of an inside job was this? Was this an inside job where you helped Thomas Matthew Crooks along the way? And, some agencies or people behind the scenes were instrumental in setting all of this up? Or was this an inside job where, hey, these intelligence agencies knew that there was someone crazy named Thomas Matthew Crooks that was going to try something crazy, but instead of stopping him, they just allowed it to happen? It's either they had more direct involvement in this and they were persuading him and helping him along the way, and there's evidence out there that would suggest that may be possible. It looks like Thomas Matthew Crooks was having meetings with the FBI or something along those lines. So it's either they were aiding him along the way the entire time, or they were aware of him and his plot the entire time, but instead of doing anything about it, they kind of quietly turned a blind eye towards it, hoping that they would allow him to get a few shots off so he could take out Trump and basically do their bidding without realizing that he was doing their bidding. So that's the 2 options that we're dealing with here. Both of them show that our government and the powers that be pulling the strings here in America and abroad are completely vile and evil, and they're capable of just about anything. And don't think that just because Trump survived, that all of this is over. I wouldn't be surprised if there's more attempts. I wouldn't be surprised if there is secretly pressure being put on Trump, being put on Elon, being put on people in Trump's cabinet. You know, there's all types of stuff that goes on behind the scenes that we don't know about. So as far as we know, there could be pressure on Trump not to do this, not to do that, or we're going to get rid of you. You know what I mean? Because they already tried it before, and we know what they're capable of. But for now, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon in the next one.